Hey, what up, guys? It is your one-arm boy, Marcel Fuller, but better known as One-Arm Wonder. Thank you so much for all these new subscribers that have joined the family, and I have now finally reached my goal of 200, and now we have 207 subscribers. Mwah. Thank you, everybody who has subscribed to me. Y'all have made a huge difference in my life. Like going through kidney stones. And I have to take a moment to say thank you to everybody for y'all's prayers, for the emails that y'all sent me, to all the messages that you sent me on Instagram, and all the comments down below. Thank you so much, guys. So speaking of kidney stones, I am now kidney stone free. I have gone through the whole entire kidney stone process, and I have made it out alive. So, but thank you, everybody to supporting me through all of this. It has been hard going through kidney stones. It really does suck. But I have decided to make this video to show you guys a little bit what it was like, to maybe inspire people who have kidney stones that yeah, it's gonna be painful, but you can make it through. And I'm gonna maybe teach you some tips along the way that I've learned personally to help you get through this really hard process. So before we get into the actual video, I would like to give a shout out of the day. By the way, I will be doing several shout outs throughout this video because I could not have gone through this process alone. But the first shout out goes to Traverse Town District 4 for commenting, "Congratulations on the move. Hope you're doing well." Thank you so much, Traverse Town District 4. So if you want to be like Traverse Town District 4 and get a shout out on this channel, all you have to do is be a subscriber and comment down below, or you can come up with an impressive question and I will also give you a shout out. Today I will not be doing question of the day because this whole topic is a huge question that everybody has been asking me ever since I posted that I have kidney stones. What is it like to have kidney stones? So I will be going into story time. So before I start the story, I have to warn y'all guys that some things that I might say can be kind of graphic. So if you don't want to hear anything about bodily functions or anything like that, then you should probably exit out of this video. I am giving y'all guys a heads up. Kidney stones are not fun, and it can kind of sound a little bit disgusting and cringy sometimes. So again, if you don't like that, it's okay. Click out of this video, find something else to do. So to understand what it's like to have kidney stones, I'm going to have to teach you a little bit about what a kidney stone is and what's exactly happening inside my body. So if you look at the representation in front of you, this is kind of what it was like inside my body. So you could see the 2 kidneys, you could see a stent, you could see the 2 ureters, the bladder, and the urethra. So if you could just imagine for a second having like a marble stuck inside one of your ureters, and you could just imagine why the pee would be blocked up, because the pee wouldn't be able to get through, and then it would start backing up, and then your kidneys start to inflate and get backed up, and then your back starts hurting because obviously that's not supposed to happen. And so to fix this, what they try to do is they stick a stent inside of you to open up your ureters so the pee can go to your bladder naturally. That does not sound fun at all. So, exactly how did this all begin? So, I remember it really began on a Sunday. Um, I remember I remember I was working out at my apartment before I moved, and then everything was fine. And then I went to bed, got up in the morning, went to school. I remember I went to math class that day, and during the class it was fine. And then right after the class, my lower left side of my back started hurting, and I was thinking, oh, my back just hurt. It's whatever. But then it wouldn't go away, and it got worse and worse and worse, guys. I cannot actually describe how painful it was. It was a scale from 1 to 10, it was like an 11. It really hurt.
Oh, the pain. It's getting so cold.
And then I remember I got really sick. I started throwing up in the bathroom, and it just wasn't a fun time. I went to the bathroom, and I just like sat there forever, just like puking my heart out. And then I just kind of laid down because I didn't. I don't know. I just didn't want to get up, and whenever I sat up, obviously my back started hurting even more. So I just laid down and I was trying to figure out what to do. So at this point, it was, I don't know, it was pretty bad. So I was thinking about going to the hospital. I did not go to the hospital. Everybody was telling me, Marcel, you do need to go to the hospital, go to the hospital, go to the hospital, go to the hospital. But I was like, no. So one quick tip for y'all guys is have insurance. Okay, that was the main reason why I chose not to go to the hospital, is because I did not have insurance at the time, and I knew, and everybody knows, that hospitals are ridiculously expensive. So I'm like, I'm a college student, I can't be like in $40,000 in debt. So I was just gonna grind it out and just see what happened. If it got worse, obviously I would have be forced to go to the hospital. But another thing that I was thinking was, I thought that I strained my back from the workout on Sunday, so I was like, okay, maybe I did something, pulled a muscle, maybe it'll go away. But it didn't. Until I took some Advil, and then I laid down for hours, guys. I mean, I laid down for hours. I called into work and I was like, I cannot go into work. By the way, quick shout out to my boss. I have to give a quick shout out to my boss because I missed a lot of time at work because of these kidney stones, and he was super cool about it. So thank you so much. Anyway, so I called into work and I was like, I can't come in. And he was like, it's cool, just get better. And I was like, okay. So I didn't really know what to do. And then I just laid there forever, guys. And then my back started not hurting as bad. So I was like, okay, it went away. Everybody was still telling me, Marcel, go to the doctor, figure exactly what happened now, because it could happen again. And I was like, no, it went away. It's fine. It was just a back strain or something. I don't know. I was just trying to reinsure myself because I really didn't want to go to the hospital. And so Tuesday, everything was fine. And then Wednesday came along. And I don't know. Maybe my back hates school or, math class in general, because Tuesday it was fine. It was fine on Tuesday, and then Wednesday after math class it started hurting a little bit again, and I knew immediately then, I'm like, okay, I got to take some Advil, and now I got to go lay down a little bit, and then I was like, hopefully I can come into work. And so I tried to power through it, and then I decided to go to work. So on the way there, my stomach started acting up again, my groin started hurting, and then my left side of my back just started aching, guys. It was worse than Monday. And so I went to my job, and then I went into the door and straight to the bathroom. I started throwing up, and then I was like, okay, I've got to go to the hospital. And so I called an Uber, and I was like, I told the Uber driver please don't take me to the emergency room because I knew that the emergency room would be more expensive. So I told him, please don't take me to the emergency room. And he took me to the emergency room. And at that point, I was actually kind of mad at him because I was like, I told him not to, but he did. But I think now looking at it, I think I should be kind of thankful for him doing that because I think he knew that, you need to go to the emergency room. It's this bad. So I got to give a shout out to my Uber driver that I don't know the name of. So shout out to you. Um, anyway, so I got to the emergency room and I told him everything. And I was like, okay, I think it's just a strain back from working out. And they were like, no, you probably have kidney stones. And I'm like, oh my God, no, 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 no. I knew kind of what kidney stones was. I knew like it was painful. I didn't know exactly how painful, but I mean, you could just imagine it. And so I was super scared at this point. And they started doing some tests, and I was like, my back hurt. And then they're like, where? And then I showed them the spot, and so they started like pressing up against it, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I just told you my back hurt right here, and they're like, yeah, we gotta figure out something, like, just, and start just pressing on it. And I was like, what the heck, man? And so they started doing running some tests, and by the way, guys, at this point, I was incredibly tired because the night before, I was studying like all night for this math test on Wednesday. And by the way, I did pass that math test with a 75. That was the only good news I got that day. So I mean, I actually hung that test on the fridge for a while because that was a very depressing day. Anyway, so after they did the test, they confirmed, yeah, you do have a kidney stone. They said a kidney stone. They did not say multiple at that point. They were like a kidney stone. We need to get you checked in. We need to get you with an IV, get you some drugs in, everything. And so, by the way, guys, just a quick thing. I am the biggest pussy in the world when it comes to pain. I cannot stand needles. That's why I don't have tattoos. I can't. I cannot stand pain. So this whole entire process has sucked so much for me because they put so many needles in me. I mean, it was just nuts. So they put me in the hospital and they put that IV in my arm. And if you haven't seen the original kidney stone video, you'll notice that it's beeping a lot because every time like I bended my arm, it started beeping, and it basically just tattletaled on me that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, and it was really annoying. To be honest, before I got checked into the hospital, I always thought that I'm not saying it would be peaceful, but I thought you would get like rest because in the like movies and stuff, they're always telling the patient's friends, he needs to rest, she needs to rest. Oh yeah, oh my god, that is such a lie. I'm not even kidding. I don't even know why they even tell them that because you get no rest at the hospital. Every time I try to go to sleep, they stuff something in my arm. It was either them drawing blood again. To be honest, I have no idea how I survived this process because I'm only like 70 pounds, guys, and it took so much blood out of me. They're like, oh yeah, we gotta do another blood test. We gotta do another test. And then, oh, we gotta do this. We gotta put this in your arm. We got to do this. We got to do that. It was so annoying, guys. And this whole process, I was in major pain. And so I was, I don't know, I was just done. And then they told me, okay, hey, we're going to have to transfer you to another hospital because we can't treat you here. And I was like, oh my God, ambulance, like I'm gonna be in debt forever. By the way, I got insurance during this process, so I went in the ambulance. The ambulance drivers were actually pretty cool. They turned up the music and we were listening to Drake the whole entire time. If you haven't followed me on Snapchat yet, you probably should because I got this whole entire process down, by the way. So anyway, so I got to the other hospital, and then they told me something different than the emergency room people did. So I feel like both of them weren't communicating at the same time, because the first hospital told me I only had one kidney stone, and then they came in, they're like, oh yeah, you have two kidney stones, and then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you have a kidney stone, and an infection. So I was like, dang. And so they told me the problem is, why did this process take so long? The major issue was the infection. If they decide, the way you deal with kidney stones, if they're too big, you blow them up so you can get smaller, and then you pass them. But if they blew up the kidney stone, the infection would spread and I would die. So I was like, let's not do that. And they're like, I agree. So they decided to treat the infection first. And so uh, if you remember when I explained about the kidney stone and the tube, and the kidney stone being stuck in the tube, well, they had to treat that too because I couldn't go to the bathroom properly. So they told me, okay, we're gonna transfer you over there. They're gonna discuss some stuff with you, and then the next morning you're going to we're gonna do like the surgery, and we're just gonna try to figure something out for you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I got there, and then I don't know what happened, but then they started freaking out. I don't know. They got a blood test sample, and then they started freaking out. They're like, okay, we gotta do something now, and I was like freaking out too, because I was like, am I gonna die? And then they're like, no, 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 you're not gonna die, but like we do need to. This is kind of serious, and I was like, oh, okay. And so what they decided to do is they decided to do my stint. They decided to knock me out, deal with the peeing problem first, and so they stuck the stent in. I will show you the stent later in the video. And so they stuck the stent in while I was asleep. I was under anesthesia the whole entire time. I did not feel a thing. So I actually had two stents put in at later dates, but the first stint wasn't that bad, especially whenever I woke up. I think it was because I was under so many drugs to help with the back pain. The second stint was so bad, guys. I mean, it hurt a lot whenever I woke up. But anyway, so I got the stint done, and then I woke up, and then this is the worst part of the kidney stones, guys. I'm just gonna put it hands down, having to go pee after they did all that. So I didn't realize it at this point, but I woke up, and I was still like super drugged up. So funny story is I started actually, I don't know why they gave me my phone right whenever I was super drugged up, and I just started calling people and just started saying random things. I was like, I called my mom apparently, and I was like, they stuck they stuck a stent up me, mom. And so I have to apologize to, I don't even know who all I called. I was apologizing like the whole entire night to a couple of people, because apparently I called multiple people. So if you're gonna get surgery, tell them not to give your phone to you. That's another tip I'll give you, because then you'll start calling random people. Anyway, so they wanted me to go to the bathroom afterward to prove that I could. Apparently, sometimes when they do this process, sometimes you actually physically cannot go pee, and then they have to fix it. Well, I was like, oh, okay. And then I did one drop, guys. One drop of pee, and it felt like lava. I am not kidding, guys. It felt like lava. It felt like lava, and it hurt so bad. And so the doctor, I was like, I can't go pee. I mean, and he was like, you need to go pee. I was like, no, I'm not gonna go pee because like it hurts. And then he was like, Marcel, if you don't go pee, I'm gonna have to take a catheter up you. And I was like, oh my god. And so I was like, and then I was like, okay, I'm trying. I was honestly just trying to stall. And then he brought in the catheter, guys. He brought it in. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. And then I started going pee, and I was like, ah! Like the whole entire time. I mean, it was pretty bad. And guys, the worst part was I had to do this like every 2 hours because the IV was in my arm and they kept putting fluids in me, fluids in me, fluids in me. So every like 2 hours I had to go through this pain. I mean, it really sucked. I got like no sleep that night. And then plus on top of that, they kept on getting and coming into my room doing tests. And then my IV started acting up and it was like beep, 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 beep. So it really sucked. And every time I would pee, I had to bend my arm. So, like, what was I supposed to do? Just pee in the bed every time? I don't even know what they wanted me to do there. So that's what happened with the first time I went to the hospital, and then and so I got out a later date, and they gave me some medicine to deal with the infection at home, and it really that whole entire like week it really did suck having to go pee, and I mean it really just sucked. By the way, the medicine that they give you, just a heads up, yeah, your pee is supposed to be red. Your pee is gonna have a little bit of blood in it. That is okay. I was like, whenever I first saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I started freaking out, and they're like, oh, it's okay, it's fine, this is natural, and I was like, whew, that's good. Anyway, so then, after a week, I was supposed to go to the hospital. I couldn't find a good time to go, in my schedule and everything. By the way, I went back to work and I went back to school. Um, After that, I mean, it really like a week after that because that whole entire process sucked, guys. So it took me a while to go back to school, and then I went to the doctor again because they wanted to first check up on me to see how I was doing, and then since the infection was gone, they wanted me to they wanted to blow up those stones so I could pass them. And so I was like, oh, okay. So here is the process that you go through whenever they're doing that. So again, they you cannot eat 24 hours. No, it's not 24 hours. You cannot eat. I think at midnight, you cannot eat or drink or anything, because apparently, something really bad can actually happen from that. I can't remember what they told me, but do not eat or drink whenever they tell you do not eat or drink. But anyway, so I was actually really scared, guys, whenever this happened because I mean, I've had surgery before, but nothing like this before. And so I was really nervous because at this point, I could pee fine again, no pain and everything. But I knew once they did what they did, then it would start hurting again. And I was, dang it, man. Like, I mean, I was just trying to prepare for the pain. And so I was pretty nervous, and they explained to me what was exactly going to happen. So what they were going to have to do is they were first going to have to take out the scent that was already in there. Then they were going to have to take a tube that had like a camera and a laser and stuff it. By the way, all of this, they were stuffing up my penis. They were stuffing up there, and like that's why peeing hurts so bad. And I mean, just thinking about it, like, ugh, I cannot just imagine being awake for this. Like, so I'm very thankful I was asleep for this. And so they blow up the stones, and then guys, they put another stent in you, but this time they put one with a string attached to it. So lucky you, you get to pull it out when you get home. So they did all of this, and they had to do another IV, but this time in my hand. And I never wanted them to do it in my hand, and I don't know why. I'd rather do it in my arm. I don't know. I don't want anybody touching my hand. I only have one, so so every time they did a needle on me, like I said, do it in my arm. They're like, "Are you sure you don't want it anywhere else?" I'm like, "No, do it in my arm." And I think the funny part was that every freaking like nurse that did the shot was like, "Oh my god, you have such good veins." I'm like, "What?" I don't they were like admiring my veins and everything. I was like, "Okay, thank you, I guess." and then they were like, ah, and I was like, ah, I was like, I hate you. I thought you were cool because you said a compliment to me, but now I hate you again. Good job. Anyway, so whenever I woke up, the pain was bad. I was in pain, guys. I don't know. I think it was just because I didn't have as many drugs in my system like before. And I think that was a big factor of it. And so that really sucked. Another thing is that they would not let me out of the hospital until I went pee. And that really sucked because I knew it was going to hurt. And I was like, no, I don't want to go through that again. So, yeah, we had to have that conversation of, yeah, I don't want to do it. You're going to have to do it. No, I really don't. I am really stubborn, by the way. Another difference about the stent, I don't know what it was, but the second stent, guys, it it was worse on my bladder. I don't know why, but I couldn't really feel my bladder. So whenever I said I didn't have to go to that bad, I really wasn't lying to him. At the doctor, they're like, you should be having to go pee. Like you should be ready to explode by now because we've been putting this IV in you for forever now. And I was like, I don't have to really go pee that bad. But little did I know, I actually had to go pee pretty bad. But I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I really couldn't even control my bladder really. And so whenever the bed was made differently when the bed that I was in, and so I couldn't go over the side and then just pee there. So what I was thinking is my plan did not work, by the way, and they gave me this like cup thing, like this big like jar thing to pee in, and so I was thinking, okay, I'll do like a couple drops for him just so I can prove that I can go pee, and then this will be all over with. Well, so I put it in sideways like this, and what happened was once I started going, I couldn't stop. Like my I don't know, like I started going, and then I couldn't control my bladder, and it just went all out, and then and then it was like the pain just shocked me because like I thought I could control it, and then it just happened, and then I peed all over the bed, guys. I peed all over the bed, and it was super embarrassing too because I was like, oh my gosh, and it was disgusting, and it was honestly it was honestly the worst moment ever because I mean, not only did they have nurses have to clean me up, like I mean, it was just disgusting and it was very embarrassing. I have not peed my bed since I was very little, so that was God. That really sucked. So so yeah, I went home after that, and and I tried to go pee whenever I felt it because I couldn't feel my bladder for a while, and then after that it got better, and then I didn't really have to worry about it anymore. But having to go through that peeing process again, that really did suck because I knew exactly how much pain I was going to be in, and so that basically that's the worst part about kidney stone is just the peeing part, and and then a week later you have this stent in you with a string on it, and what they want you to do a week later is they want you to pull it out yourself. And so one thing that I didn't do was pull it out a week later, because I actually did try, guys. I did try pulling it out. Everybody said do it nice and slowly, but that's not, no, don't do it nice and slowly. Yank it out, guys. Just yank it out. And so whenever I was doing nice and slowly, it really hurt. It was kind of weird because I was like, you would think that if you pull it out slowly, it wouldn't hurt as bad, but it hurt. It started hurting really bad, and so I decided to make a choice. I was like, okay, I'll go to the doctor and have them pull it out. And so that's what I did a couple days ago, guys. And and so I went to the hospital, that day, and I was so nervous, guys. I was super nervous. I'm like, this is gonna hurt so much. I actually did something I do not recommend, guys. Do not look up YouTube videos of people pulling their stents out. I mean, it kind of scared me even more because I didn't really know who to believe, because some videos they just did it, and some other videos it like they looked in pain. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna suck, and I was so nervous. I am very, very grateful that I was kind of like at the end of the day. So whenever I went in to the nurse's office, there was nobody outside in the waiting room, and so I was so nervous, guys. I'm like, this is gonna hurt so bad. And so I have to give another shout out. I gotta give a shout out to Nurse Crystal for pulling out my stent and having to deal with me, guys. Guys, honestly, she can attest to this. I was being such a baby. Honestly, it was, now that I think about it, it was so funny because she came into the room and she was like, oh, okay, so like, I'm gonna have to pull out your stent. I was like, oh, okay. And then she, every time she went for the string, I was like, wait. I'm not prepared. I'm scared. And she was like, oh my God, like, come on. Like, she's like, it's not that bad. And I was like, okay. And she was like, do you want me to count to three, or do you want me to just pull it out? And I was like, I don't know, just do it. And I was just pumping myself up. And then she was like, okay, 1, 2, and she was like, yeah! And I was like, ah! And by the way, I was already screaming before she pulled out the stent. She was like, why are you screaming? And I was like, I'm just getting my vocal cords ready. She was like, I'm not even touching your stent yet. I was like, sorry. And then she started pulling it out. It does sting. Don't let anybody tell you it's not gonna hurt any. But the way she did it in like 2 seconds, guys. It was like 1, 2, and then she's like, yeah! I mean, like, she did it so fast and aggressive. It was like, ah! And I was like, ah! And then I was still screaming after like she pulled it out. And then she was like, it's done. Like, I've been done for like 5 seconds. I was like, oh, okay. That was an awkward moment. And then she laughed, and then I was like, can I? She was like, do you want to throw it away? I was like, actually, no. Can you wrap it up for me so I could show my YouTube fans? And she was like, okay, sure. So I'm about to show you guys what a stent looks like. Alright, so she did clean the stent, but I'm gonna use a paper towel to pick it up because it's kind of disgusting. So anyway, so this is what a stent looks like. It's just a really long tube that's curled at the end. The string, I don't know if you can see that. It's hanging out right there. That's to pull out the stent whenever it is time to do that. That thing is a pain in the butt, guys. That thing is a really pain in the butt. So that actually marks the end of the process of my kidney stone story. So after you get your stent pulled out, you're probably going to start peeing your stones. More of your stones. Some of them you couldn't pee out until that thing was out. And so that's not fun at all. But since they're blown up, it really shouldn't be that bad. Don't actually be scared. The worst of the part is over. That was actually the end of my process. I just want to say a quick word to people who do have kidney stones. Yes, it's going to be painful and it's going to suck, but you can make it through this. And I just definitely know what you're going through, and I hope this gave you some insight about what you're gonna probably be dealing with if you have kidney stones. So to wrap up this story, thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed already, please do that. Hit that bell so every time that I upload a video, you guys won't miss a beat. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.